Hello, I'm Priya Sengupta, in Bangla Priya Sengupta, and I'm so happy to be talking to you today. Since the announcement of the 21-day lockdown in India for coronavirus, I have been receiving a flurry of phone calls, messages, WhatsApp, instant messages on instant messengers uh, with your fears, concerns, and questions. I appreciate all your fears and concerns and questions, and I intend to answer to each of them individually, but that will take me a little bit of time to respond. So meanwhile, I thought I will have this YouTube video so as to at least uh, address some of the issues. Now, uh, actually, the credit for this YouTube video goes to one of the participants of my behavioral skills workshop. And he sent across a message which was very, very compelling. So he wrote that, Madam, thoda motivate to kar dijiye. Now, this is so sweet and so compelling. I thought this should not be held up, and why only him? There were others also who had the same feelings, and I thought that let me just reach across and say hi to everybody. Now, see, the tone of the messages in whichever mode they came, basically the tone was we are into a corona crisis. Now, the crisis that you perceived from the coronavirus, it made your fears and concerns and questions come out of you through these different channels, WhatsApp, etc. They came over to me. And then what happened is that my response to it is this YouTube video at the moment. Now, so I wouldn't really say that we have to look at it only as a matter of crisis. Yes, it's something very important and we need to give it its due importance. But we can also look at it differently, a different perspective. So instead of always thinking about it as a crisis, why don't we look at it also as an opportunity? See, well, my mother tongue is Bangla, and it's a very sweet language, and actually we call it Mishti Bhasha. Now, in Bangla, Corona is very interesting. How? Now, suppose we say Corona. That means don't do it. Okay? But if we say it with a little different pronunciation, Corona, that means do it. Now, this is the difference in perspectives. Here it comes out, the attitude, the difference in attitude, the difference in perspective, it comes out through the pronunciation. But in real application of it in our lives, we can have different perspectives of the same thing. So this example of, well, I have been thinking about putting up YouTube videos for quite some time. And I've been doing some planning and preparing content, etc. But then the way your flurry of messages came, that my iPhone, it's like chock-a-block, and it's practically having a digital lockdown. So this gave the impetus of coming up with the YouTube channel immediately and putting a video today. And I intend to put one every day for the next 21 days, or at least a post as I regularly do. And see, the whole thing has worked out very, very positively. So Corona could be an opportunity also. It's not about all don't do, Corona, Corona. It is also about Corona. There are certain things that we can definitely do. Okay, now let's, so नजरिया की बात है ना? कि क्या कौन सा नजरिया रखेंगे, कौन सा perspective रखेंगे. Now, there are different aspects to this perspective, and today, since this is the first time I'm doing this, I'll not make it very long. So let's look at one of the things. Now, there are several things which on everyday basis, it comes to our mind that I want to do this, but where do I find the time to do this? Because my life is so hectic, I have to go to office, this, that. Now, doesn't this 21 day give us a lovely window for those of us who are not providing essential services, and we are the lucky ones who also have a home. So for us at least, this gives a beautiful, lovely window to do some of the things that we thought we would do, but we were not able to get around to do it. Now, for instance, all of those of you who have met me, or those of you who read my posts, follow my posts regularly, they know that I am a complete bibliophile, a book lover. बिल्कुल दीवानी हूँ about books. Now, generally, I read about one book a week. So at the moment, as I'm reading this one, this is Gene Machine by Venki Ramakrishnan, a lovely book. So in 3 weeks, I would generally read 3 books, but given this window, I think I'm going to do much better than that, and I have lined up a couple of books more, so there are 5 on my list, and let's see what I can do about it. Now, this is an opportunity, and I'm going to make the best use of this opportunity. Now, let's see, what else? Okay. So all of you know that I do things, those who follow my posts, that I do what I love to do. So reading is one of them, and therefore I have stretched my, I love it. So I'm just putting in 2 more books. But apart from that, there are other things that I love to do. For them, one of them is fitness. I am quite into it. You know that I go for 7.5 kilometers of morning walk every day nowadays. So because of this lockdown thing, I'm doing it at home on a treadmill in the evening, but generally it's in the morning outdoors, and I go for my long walk. Apart from that, I do some exercises, but I have been thinking that I need to work specially on my upper arm and make them strong like Michelle Obama's, and I want to work on my abs and make them really hot, really nice looking. So this gives me that window to do it. So thankfully, I have resistance bands at home. I actually have them for a long time. I use it for my other groups of muscles, but I haven't really got around to working on my upper arm or my abs, and this is what I'm going to do next 21 days, focus on it, so that at the end of it, I have some good results about it. What else? So, yeah, I've been thinking that I need a new look and new clothes, new accessories. Not that the entire everything that I have has to be thrown off, but maybe mix and match, remodel them. It needs a resizing, because you know that I lost a lot of weight very recently because of my change in food pattern. So I wanted to design them myself. I wanted to create look myself, design them clothes myself, etc. And this gives me a fantastic opportunity to do all of that. So so once this lockdown ends and I have the freedom to go to the market, you can imagine how much fun I'm going to have creating my new clothes. I mean, I'll have the designs with me, and I'll just have to translate it into the real thing. So designing clothes, and if not so much, so I mean, designing clothes or designing look or changing a look may be a little bigger thing to do, but there are certain things which we can't do in office, or we can't do at our workplace. You know, I'm a trainer, so every day I'm in some organization and I'm training people, or I'm presenting something and speaking at an event, etc. And I have to look like a hardcore professional. So there are certain things perhaps which doesn't gel with that look, and I have to go without it. For example, since now I'm at home, I have taken out my files. So the rini-chini of the file does not go with the office environment. Come on, be a distraction hoga. So, but now at home I can wear them. I'm wearing them and I'm enjoying myself with them. I've taken these out. So again, at the workplace, this is too much for a trainer to wear, but right now this is the thing. So after this interview, I'm going to get into them and I will enjoy myself wearing such colorful things. Okay, so I have a book and which I had planned a little while earlier, but I was really thinking how to do it because of a little bit challenge in time, but this gives me the right window. So I'm co-creating this book with some of my workshop participants and some of my mentees. And one of the things which I had thought that I will ask some a particular mentee to work on, I'm going to now do it myself also partially. So earlier I used to spend a lot of time and enjoy painting and sketching. Nowadays I do little of it, not very much of it, because again of the time issue. But then for this book, I'm really going to work on that, and that's going to be one of the sweetest things that I look forward to. And this is a great co-creation work which is happening with 22 other people, and this is going to be really fun, and this gives the right kind of window to do this kind of co-creative work. Plus, there are so many movies. Thankfully, we have Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hoichoi and so much. So I'm sure I hope the internet access remains for all of us, and I'm sure it will, so don't worry. And so many movies to see. So I have this long list of movies to see, plus so much music to listen to. So these 21 days are really going to go down in my books, in my life. I'm planning it that way. I'm hoping it works out that way, to be a beautiful time with a lot of art, with a lot of music, with a lot of learning, and with a lot of co-creation with people whom I can work with on digital media. You know, the other day I did an interview and I posted that interview on LinkedIn, Facebook. Maybe I'll put it on this YouTube channel also, on the future of work. So there is a lot of things to do. Now, one of the things that I would really like to talk about is both to the young people and the parents. Now, nowadays, since I do a lot of training at different levels, so it's like from I work with school children till chairmen and board of directors of companies. Among the young, I see a kind of mindset, and it's promoted by parents, they facilitated by parents, that you are growing up to be a professional, or the person says I'm a professional, or I'm a budding professional. So all the other things which does not make money would be done by my domestic help, my maid, or etc., etc. Now, let's get one thing very clear. I say it in my workshops when it permits, but let me make it very clear to all of us that first we have to be able to look after our personal selves. So the things which we need to do at our personal levels, we need to know that, and we need to know that very well how to do. After that, if we get too busy in our profession, sometimes we can outsource it, but it cannot be that we don't know how to do it. Now, for instance, अंडा उबाल के छीलना है या छील के उबालना है, इतना तो आना चाहिए, है ना? Now, many people will say that I'm grooming to be a professional, so why should I need to know that? But then if you don't know that, in times like this, when the maid is not going to come in, or in times like this, when you're shifting from one city to the other, and you have to manage by yourself, how do you do it? So the maid will also not respect you if you do not know basic things. If you don't know basic things in the kitchen, if you don't know how to wash your clothes, if you don't know how to iron a shirt, if you don't know how to spread a sheet on the bed, how do we expect that the domestic help is going to respect us? And many of my colleagues are high-placed professionals. I myself have been a professional for a very long time, for 25 years now. But then these basic things, not only do we need to know, but we need to take an active interest and love doing it. That's why I put so much stress on doing home chores. And every morning I spend a couple of hours doing real things at home. so that for instance, the kitchen work, for instance, certain organizing things, getting things from outside, putting clothes on the terrace, etc., so that the rest of the day works out very fine. So we need to learn these things, and we need to learn to enjoy these things. And this is a lovely window to enjoy our homes, to enjoy our family life, to enjoy these little joys of doing things at home. And इसी के लिए तो we created a home, we created a family, etc., isn't it? So let's do that with a lot of joy, with a lot of fun. So है ना, बहुत कुछ करने के लिए in this 21 days, and I don't see why we should be gloomy. I don't see why we have to look at Corona only as a crisis. And so I wanted to tell all of you that look at it as an opportunity window. And some of us are very, very blessed. Personally, I feel I'm very blessed because I'm getting to stay at my home. I'm not somewhere outside of my home, staying in a different place, missing my family. No, that's not the case. We have food on our table with the blessings of God. And there are the basic amenities which are available. And let's make the best of what we have, isn't it? Okay, so over the next 21 days, I will try to do my bit. I in fact promise to do my bit. So every day I'll either put a video across on my YouTube channel, or I'll put a post as I have been doing regularly. And I'll share with you, I'm open to sharing with you my little achievements. Maybe we'll celebrate together those achievements. Every little achievement needs to be celebrated. And I would love to hear from you. What are the things that you are achieving in your life in these 21 days? Please feel free to share with me over email. My email ID is very simple. It is Priya, Priya Sengupta, Sengupta India, @gmail.com. And so priya.sengupta.india@gmail.com. And you can also send me an SMS or a WhatsApp at 9674-821135. That is 9674-821135. But WhatsApp, please send me tomorrow. Today my WhatsApp is chock-a-block. I need to sort it out by answering all the messages that you have sent. So do send in your messages, and I'll try to share them with everybody on this channel. And please mention your name, your contact details, so that I can also have a word with you if there is something that I need to know more, or I really love it and I need to speak to you. So please do share your contact details. And so we'll have a motivating and positive conversation for the next 21 days, so that we can all work around doing something which builds our life, which takes our life forward. And we remember these 21 days not as crisis, but a lovely opportunity window to build lovely memories in our life. And I come back before I end. Let me speak a little bit in Bangla with you. That's my sweet mother tongue, Mishti Bhasha. And see, so let's see. So mon kharap Corona, mon bhalo koro, nijer onner. So what does it mean? Mon kharap Corona. So don't let your spirits go low. Well, spirit means mood. And mon bhalo koro. Lift your mood. Nijer, yourself, for yourself and for others. And that way we can make these 21 days much, much better. So kal abar dekha hobe. Kal fir milte hain. And see you tomorrow. And till then, be positive with Priya India. Thank you so much. And I really loved speaking to you. Thank you. Bye-bye.